Have you ever started a knitting project and we're trucking along, everything was hunky-dory, and then you just set it aside and just let it hibernate for a while? Maybe you got to a point in the project where it was too difficult or it needed a lot of concentration and you just didn't have the capacity for that at the time. Or maybe it was boring. It was row after row after row of stockinette stitch, and you just wanted something more exciting to do, or looked for a different project and just set it down for a while. Or maybe you're human and your life happened and something else needed your attention more than your knitting project, and because you set it down, it was no longer part of your daily routine, and so you didn't think about it anymore. And then later on, when you're cleaning up your closet and you're like, oh, I forgot about this, and you're like, well, I should probably get back to that. I'm going to tell you some of the ways that have helped me get back into a knitting project after letting it sit in the closet for weeks, months, sometimes years. Hi and welcome. My name is Tina and welcome to my home. I love to make things for my family. I love to make my home nice and cozy and pretty and all those things. And I have learned over the years that I have some habits, and good and bad. And some of those habits are actually what I'm going to share with you today, because I am a binge knitter and then I set aside stuff. I binge knit through all 8 pregnancies. I have 8 children, and I made hats and cardigans and booties and all the different things. And then when the baby came, it was like, I don't knit. Like, who has time for that? And I know there are women who do that, like who have a baby and will be nursing and knitting, and that just wasn't me. I didn't have the capacity for that. I was too tired. I didn't want to mess it up. And so I just put stuff aside. I knew it's a season. I'll get back to it when I'm pregnant again, or when I have more time, when the kids are older, whatever. So I did a few things to prepare for that, so that when I picked it up again, I knew where I was in the pattern. There was a time when I didn't do that, and we'll talk about that later, because that's what's changed how I've done it, so that I can pick up a project after a long period of time. To give you a little backstory, this past summer I decided that I was going to commit. I was going to do the Tour de Fleece. Now, if you've never heard of the Tour de Fleece, it's a spinning event where spinners get together, and, well, mostly online, and they'll get together and they'll spin during the Tour de France, the bicycle race that happens over in France in the summer. So it's basically you join a challenge or you join a group and you try to spin every single day, or you make whatever the challenge may be. So I was taking part in this, and while I'm spinning, I sometimes like to listen to an audiobook, or my kids will read to me, or I'll sit outside on the deck. And some of us got this stupid summer cold, so we decided we're just gonna sit in front of the TV. But I don't like to just sit and watch something unless it's gonna help me in some way or educate me or the kids. And so the kids were watching along. It had to be child friendly, so I started watching Nitty Natty. Now, her channel is awesome. She was doing a tour of the Canadian provinces. Well, I happen to live in Canada, and we got to see part of the country from our couch while we're nursing colds that I'm spinning wool here. She kept mentioning this sock week that she was hosting. So I looked into it and I thought, okay, maybe I should, pick up my knitting needles. It's been a long time. I made a sweater for my son last year, my youngest, but that's the first project I've done since moving up to the country in 2020. So I thought, well, I should get back into it. And this leads me to the first tip. Do a knit along or a challenge to get back into knitting. So the sock week was like a 1 week knit 1 sock sort of deal. And I thought, well, I didn't sign up on any official capacity. I just wanted to participate. And so I started on July 20th on my daughter's birthday, and I knit a sock. And by Wednesday, I had this sock finished. And I thought, okay, I'll cast on the next sock. And, I got bored of it. I set it down, but I did finish the second sock. So now I do have a pair. And as hard as I tried to get them to be the same, because they looked the same at the beginning, they didn't end up the same, but they're for my daughter. And I did finish the pair of socks about a month later. The first one I got done during sock week. The second one took me, a few weeks longer, because, moving on to number 2, I did the other thing that I always do when I get back into knitting. I pick a project that's quick, caught here. That's easy and only takes a day or two. I knit a hat. I tend to knit something small either for one of my kids or I knit a hat. As a way to get back into knitting, it's a quick win. This is the Rosse hat pattern, and I use the Woolies Thick and Quick in the color Galaxy, and I really love it. It's really squishy and soft. I used the whole ball of yarn, and what was left from that first ball of yarn, I made pom-poms, and now, like, the kids thought that was the greatest thing, and now I have a kangaroo wearing a pom-pom. I've got pom-poms kind of flying all over the house, but I got my quick win, and it got me back into knitting. So when you're picking a quick win project, I suggest to use yarn that you have in your house. I happened to purchase the yarn for this hat last winter, near the end of winter. We were at Michael's. I bought the yarn for my son's sweater. I knit that right away, and then I was going to cast this on, but by that time it was already spring, and so the yarn just sat there. It was to match my new winter jacket. I'd gotten a winter jacket for the first time in like 15 years, and this one's purple, so I wanted something to go nice with it. I picked it out, and yeah, then it just stuck. It was in my stash. So I decided just to pull that out, try it out, make a quick project, and then I could, I'm back into knitting. When I see that I am actually knitting again, I'm enjoying it again, I do number 3. I purchase new yarn. I will go online and I'll look at Ravelry, watch some videos here on YouTube and see what other people are making, some suggestions. I look at my wardrobe. This time I was looking specifically for patterns for myself to knit because, as you heard, I've knit lots of baby booties and baby sweaters and socks and all those things for my kids. And other than socks, for myself, I haven't really knit anything for myself in all of those years, except for the mama vertebrae, and I don't even have it anymore. I don't know, I must have donated it, or it's in a pregnancy bucket or whatever. I plan a new project is what I'm trying to say. So when I got back into the knitting habit, I'm enjoying myself, I go to Ravelry, pick out a pattern or two, put them in my favorites list, and then I buy the yarn for 1 or 2 of those projects, maybe 3. It depends on how I'm feeling. I will share with those yarns and projects with you on another video. But what it did get me doing is like, okay, I have something to look forward to, but then I'm able to pick up a project that I have set down for a really long time and work on that while I'm waiting for the yarn to arrive. So this is my son's sweater. This is embarrassing, but I started this project either in the fall of 2022 or the winter of 2023. My son bought the kit for this. This is the 9X sweater by, I'll butcher the name. I won't even try. I'll just put it up on the screen. It is the 9X sweater. It's made with Icelandic wool, the Letalopi, I can't even say, Letalopi yarn. And he bought a kit from, it came directly from Iceland. He tried to, knit a swatch for gauge. And yeah, that wasn't going so well. I taught him how to knit when he was a little kid, and yeah, he just like, I don't remember how to do this, Mom, can you do this? And I'm like, sure, I'll do it. But if you notice, this sweater is like row after row after row after row after row of stockinette stitch. So after getting the body and 1.5 sleeves done, I kind of just packed it away and forgot about it. Like, to be honest, it just sat there. But coming back to the point of what I want to help you do, let me find the pattern. This is suggestion number 4. So you bought your yarn and all that kind of stuff, and you've knit something quick, and you've, got back into the groove because you joined a challenge or knit along. This challenge is more for like preparing for the next time you just chuck everything aside, like I tend to do. Now, if you don't do that, like whatever, like this might not be relevant to you. But what I do is, I don't know if you can see it, I've highlighted everything for the size that I'm working on. So and you see like I've marked stuff on here. I either use sticky notes or I use like little pencil marks and like tally marks, what row I'm on, that kind of thing, so I can keep track. So that if I do set it down and I come back, I don't have to go, oh, what size was I making? Where am I? I can just go, oh, oh yeah, Tina, that's where you left off. We'll get you back going. And I had the second sleeve done no time flat, and then I got it all joined together and started working on the color work. And we're getting close. I'm getting there. I'm just like, I'm getting there. It will get there, but I'm like I'm itching to cast on something else. Actually, I did cast on something else. I don't have it with me, but I cast on the Rothsay cowl that matches the Rothsay hat because why not? I get bored of it, so I will swap it back and forth. And that might be an extra bonus tip, is like to swap between a couple different projects. So if you get bored of one, do another one, and then when that gets bored, but then make sure you highlight where you're at and leave little notes for yourself so you know when you come back where you were and what you were doing, because I'm going to show you something. This is like super embarrassing, but also really funny because I pulled it out of my bin this afternoon, and I showed it to my kids and my two oldest, because it was supposed to be for my oldest. He's now 25. And I thought, okay, well, I'll just finish it whenever and I'll give it to my daughter, and she's now 23. And I don't know, maybe I can open it. It's a little baggy. So part of the tip with highlighting your pattern and all that kind of stuff is put it all together. Like I have a bin here, and I've got all the yarn, all the notions, everything for this sweater is all in one place, and it won't get misplaced. I have everything together so that I know when I pick it up, it's all there. All that to say, I didn't do that with this. I mean, I have all the yarn and it's all in a bag, but you notice there's no pattern in here. And yeah, like I said, I made it for my oldest. Can't help it. I don't have a pattern. And I obviously needed the needles for something else because I got little stitch holders on here. And yeah, 20 years or so this has been. I don't know, you think I'll finish it? You think I should finish it? Let me know in the comments below if you think I'm going to finish this. Anyway, I've been rambling on. Coming to number 5. My 5th tip for getting back to knitting after hiatus is to not beat yourself up about it. I'm taking this I fairly lightly because, I mean, I used to beat myself up about this all the time. I used to be like, Tina, you're such a horrible person. You're so flaky. You can't finish a project. What's wrong with you? Other people can like knit 5 things in the same time. You knit 1. And I would be like really super hard on myself, and that didn't help anybody because then I didn't want to knit because who wants to knit when they're like, actually knitting does calm me down. But that aside, I just felt like, you know, beating yourself up just isn't worth it. And knitting is supposed to be like, we do it for the process. Yes, it's like great. I get a hat, I get socks, I get sweaters, you know, I get all these things that I could also buy at a store finished. If I really needed a hat or if I really needed a sweater, I mean, I have those that I didn't make, but the whole thing is the creativity, the joy, the process. And what good is it if I, you know, just plow through everything and I don't enjoy it, or I just leave it aside and never come back? Like, if we beat ourselves up, it doesn't help anybody. It makes us feel terrible, and it just reinforces negative behaviors and negative thoughts, and who wants those anyway? The world's negative enough. Why do we knit? Why do we knit? Why do we, you know, quilt, sew, spin, all those things? We do it because we love it, and we love the process, and it brings us peace, it brings us joy, and that's what it's all about, right? I hope these tips help you to get back into knitting or inspire you to, you know, cast a new project on and join a challenge. And I don't have one to offer right now. I'm just trying to knit every day. That's my challenge. Personal challenge is to try to knit a little bit every day. And when we go on road trips, I'll take along my knitting. I will take along something that I can do while I'm not driving, obviously. And I just want to, you know, share that with you and love to hear from you. What are you working on? What's the longest you've ever let a project sit? Like 20 years? 3 years? Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to hear from you. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.